So that's one side of the hoof. That's the other side of the hoof. So by comparison, I mean,
Not too bad.
that's about the length of my index finger. That's a pretty good sized doe right there. We're on camera.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay. All right, now that we're done being idiots. Hey, everybody.
Try it again.
Yeah, right?
Try that again. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. This is Jonathan with Pinnacle Outdoor Traditions again. I am here with one of my oldest and best friends in the world, Rick Nightingale, a.k.a. Sticky.
That's right.
We have known each other for 24 years now. We've even lived together when we first got out of college and everything.
Good times.
It was. So, still is. You know, now I'm uncle to his kids. He's uncle to mine. It's a wonderful thing. He's one of my oldest and dearest friends. And we are here today in South Carolina. He just recently bought 20 acres, which is right behind us here, of just hardwoods. At least that's what I think it is.
It's mostly a canopy, yep.
Okay. And what we're doing today is we're going to be going out, we're going to do some scouting, get an idea on deer trails and signs and things like that that's in the area.
Yep.
We're going to be getting a framework together for what he can do to improve upon this area. We started off 5 years ago. I bought 27 acres of land in North Carolina, and when I did my research on small property in order to hunt, everything started off talking about 100 acres or more, and it just annoyed me because like half the stuff you couldn't do on a smaller piece of land, and a lot of people nowadays, that's all we can afford, especially here in the Southeast. So we're going to work today, getting in here, getting a game plan going on some stuff we can do for improvements for the deer in the area, as well as for him to be able to come in and access it and hunt it. And we're going to show you kind of what we go through, the steps that we're going to take, and the things we're going to do, and what goes through our mind when we go through it. It is possible, is it not?
Absolutely.
I mean,
you can turn something like this into a good a deer destination. You do it just right. Obviously, you are going to be limited just because you don't have the property, and there's also going to be resource limitations, what's around us, what kind of terrain features we're talking about, you know, stuff like that. So. But there are ways to improve even your small stuff down to 5 acres. It's hard, it's always going to be limited, but it's there and it's possible.
Exactly. So I know in my 27 acres we started off with just skinny, unhealthy deer, not a lot of bucks. And now, I mean, you come up 3-4 times a year. We have bucks, we have does, we have a good fawn drop every year. The deer are healthier, they're happier. It is a destination location for them. It takes time and it takes hard work.
Absolutely.
It takes boots on the ground 100% of the time. You've got to be on the ground and go out and scout and find this stuff, but you can make it work. And so we're going to show you guys that today. Hopefully it'll help if you've got some small land yourself, whether it's 10, 20, 30 acres, whatever the case may be. Hopefully some of this information you guys will find useful, and hopefully it helps you out as we go along. So stay tuned, stay in touch, whatever you want to say. Hold on, we're going for a ride.
There you go.
So first off, we're going to talk about is trail cameras. These things are very, 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 very important, especially on a new property. Don't expect the trail camera to tell you every little single thing that moves through. That's not how they work. They don't catch the sensors right. They have to reset themselves. I've shot deer in front of trail cameras that hadn't turned on. But to get you a decent one that's going to give you some information as the deer come through that you can kind of check periodically, it gives you an idea, kind of a snapshot of where you see the vast majority of your deer population, as well as, maybe an inventory of what's in the area. So, if this camera right here has got a couple dozen pictures, we're doing pretty good. A lot of people get irritated when they put a trail camera out because, the first week they didn't get 1,000 photos. Well, that's not how it works. Especially if you're not putting it out in a rut or over a bait site or anything like that. If you're trying to put it on the trailhead to kind of get an idea on where the deer are coming and going to, you're going to have a smaller number of pictures on it. Don't get mad at the trail camera, get mad at your camera placement and try and find a better spot to put it.
Yep.
But the idea behind it is that it's giving you just kind of a quick snapshot and giving you an idea, okay, deer are here or deer are not here. And then, you know, if you've got a spot where they congregate and you can get a lot more photos, then you can start saying, okay, I got this buck, this doe, this fawn. They're coming every single day, this sort of time. And then you can start patterning your deer out. You see this? You know what that is?
Deliciousness?
You're not far off. It's grape.
Yeah, wild grape.
So, probably muscadine grape would be my guess. That'll bring the deer in right there. So let me see what you got on your picture there. I know that's not on your camera. Y'all ought to see the picture of the buck they use as a screensaver. It's awesome. It's what you wish you could see on your camera.
A good looking size deer.
This is what he's seen so far. So what I would do with where they're at, I would actually change your tree. Getting up higher is a good idea, although where you were wasn't bad. I mean, it caught the deer. But I would change the tree because these vines that you just pulled away, first good gust of wind, they're going to blow right back in front. And all it's going to do is set that camera off like every 5 seconds.
Got it. She looks a little skinny.
Oh yeah, she's with the fawn, so she's a little emaciated because of the fact she's nursing.
Yep. She strikes me as skinny, but that also indicates the poor quality of food and habitat around here.
Yeah, well.
So that's something that we need to be mindful of and address. Aim it that way maybe. And
I just saw a deer run right through there.
No.
Just now. Well, for the pictures you just showed me, they're coming up out of this bottom right here.
That's what it looks like.
Coming up the trail.
Yep, that's what it looks like, because they're coming this way. So that's why I say I'll just slide this around. We'll avoid this, like you said, and then we'll see what's coming from that direction.
Yeah, that works. These are the things you think about when you're putting up a trail cameras. What's in the way? What direction are they coming from? And you're constantly having to adjust and move and kind of tweak these things. That's a deer. Barely tell.
Yep, way back there.
Yep.
There he's again, little guy, probably a fawn. There's a big doe mama.
Big doe right there in front too.
Yep.
Good. 30 pictures?
Yeah, for 2 weeks, 30 pictures, and the most of the deer.
Yep.
That's good. And I'm not surprised. When you're done messing with that, I want to show you something. All right, so tell me what you just had.
I was surprised at how much deer activity there was in front of this camera. There's what looks like it could be a trail right behind the camera, but we ended up with a lot of deer right here actually doing some grazing. So I was a little surprised at that.
And I have your answer why.
Acorns.
These trees,
Little acorns.
all around through here, are all oaks.
Yeah.
You've got bur oak, water oak, and red oak all through here. I just went through and identified them all.
Nice.
What I just had in my hand, I found in a 12-inch circle.
Yeah.
Right where you're standing and right where the deer was.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're coming through here and they're browsing and grazing through this area because this is where the mass drops. This is where the oaks are dropping. So come fall time, when those things start to fall, this is going to be the spot to be. You've got an open area surrounded full of these hardwood oaks in here coming out of a thicker bottom.
Right.
And your trail that you were looking at running back there, what that is that's probably them making a trail coming out and circling around. But my initial thought would be to set up somewhere in here because you can get to it easily from the road without walking through and throwing your scent all through here. Make sure that the wind, the normal wind direction, is hitting you in the face and blowing that way, because you don't want it blowing down into that bottom, into that holler for them.
That's where they come out of.
But this could be a great ambush point.
Right. And right now, because we are in South Carolina, hunting season does open in a couple of weeks. So now, having a spot picked out that we could go with right now is a good thing.
This big leafy guy right here with those almost maple leaf, big broad maple leaf style, that's the red oak. That's your, I think that's your burr, and then your water was one of those two there. So you've got several good oak trees in this area. Behind the camera is a pin oak, which is another good one. It's not as sought after as the red oak is, but it is a high yield crop, and it is sustenance for them. These are sweeter, but they will eat those too, and you've got several of those trees in the area too. Now I'm going to tell you something I tell my neighbors, and I've told you this several years. If you have the does, the bucks will come.
Yeah.
As long as this is an established doe area and a nursery where you've got does and fawns,
We do.
you do. And that's what you're looking for a small piece of land like this. The bucks will come out of the woodworks. They travel 2 to 3 miles during the rut.
Yeah.
So they will come over here looking for the ladies. It's what they do. So as long as you keep the does here and keep them happy, I don't give a crap what happens during the summertime, what happens even in the early fall. Once they're mature, they're hard-horned, they're rutted up, their necks are swollen, is when they're going to be coming in here. They're going to be coming in at the prime time, which is what you're looking for.
Yep.
Keep the ladies happy and keep them here, the boys will show up. That's just how it works, okay?
Well, they have ladies' nights at bars.
When mama's happy, everybody's happy, right?
There you go.
So,
let's
keep the ladies. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, I want to get back.
That's one side of the hoof. That's the other side right there.
There it is.
So, by comparison, I mean,
Not too bad.
that's about the length of my index finger. That's a pretty good sized doe right there. You've got an area right here where you've got grapevines
Yep.
running all on that border. Oak trees that are bearing acorns all around here. So that's late summer, early fall, natural browse for them to come through and eat on. They're cruising this. They're just running this area.
Yeah, all over the place.
And they're just browsing all around because you've got all of this natural stuff, all these hardwoods in here dropping, especially in the fall. So you've got deer in the area. We want to kind of funnel them a little bit. If they're bedding right off your property, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can take advantage of that by bringing something in. And an area just like this area right here, which is all what you own, you don't have any big, huge, wide open spots. I mean, you've got a good canopy and you don't have a lot of undergrowth. So these are old, you know, mature hardwoods. This would be a good spot then to clear some of these trees out and be able to kind of open the canopy up enough that you can get some good solid sunlight in, which like right now, you know, it's beaming right down. So you'd have to open up probably about a 20 or 30 yard radius in order to get a good solid area of sunlight. But these would be a good area for you to do one of those new no-till plots.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, is get that big leafy green to come in here and grow from the bottom. And it's going to do is it's going to pull them that 30 yards because that's nothing for them. They're still going to feel very secure and covered over here.
Yeah, it's going to be
So
close.
they'll get their butts up and come on over. It's like walking to the fridge for them.
Right.
You've got a good spot, and then that even gives you a spot you can sit inside your building on. I can see it now. He's going to be inside the shed going, oh,
Right.
crikey, he's right there, mate.
In a rocking chair.
He's always wanted that gentleman's lounge blind. You don't understand. He wants a cigar and a lazy boy, maybe his Bluetooth headphones playing him some classical music.
That's right.
Boy, Jay, I say, is that a book right there? Oh, I believe I shall shoot it.
There you go. There you go. Need a recliner, a pair of comfortable slippers, a
Don't
fireplace.
forget the bunny slippers. Can't forget the bunny slippers.
Yeah, gotta have them slippers, and you know, and maybe some classical music playing. Wind's howling outside. It's okay. I'm comfortable.
But that would actually give you, I mean, it is a brick building with open holes that the deer already know. So it's not like you're setting up a ground blind that they don't know. Plus all that concrete's going to help block your scent. That's actually not the worst of ideas I've heard.
No, no.
That is an established deer trail. We've been following it for probably about 50 yards or so. And it runs right along the edge of this ridge here. So you can see it kind of drops down into a holler there. And there's a standing water, marsh, sort of a creek outlie that's right down in there where there's a lot of deer tracks as well. And then we've got this hillside with these thickets running through here, and a lot more undergrowth than we did when we first got on the property, and a lot more sign of deer travel, trails, corridors, things of that nature. So this is a big travel area for them for sure.
It feels like this is a good place with a little bit of work. 'Cause like I said, we got these pines.
Yeah.
But you have minimal canopy. So even if you have to clear out some of the mature trees, you don't have to do that much. And you might even maybe hinge cut away from the food plot area to not only open up the canopy, but then provide regeneration for cover and food for later on. And there seems like there's a couple of spots through here. Like if you look over that way, you see more sunlight hitting the ground. So maybe something over there. So what I'm thinking is there's a spot here, and there's another spot that way. A minimal work in terms of canopy opening up. The rest of it's all going to be on the ground as far as spraying, killing, cutting and
really,
and
there's
planting.
not even that much of that.
No,
So this is, see how the log's been knocked down and the ground's been kind of beat down going through here. This is very much an established deer trail. You can even see how it cuts into the woods there. How there seems like a hole right there in that brush. So this is a big time deer area. And you can see Sticky's over here looking at his camera. So I'm gonna join him. I think it'd be a real good idea to put a food plot in there. And that's a spot you and I can clear out tomorrow morning. All right, we've been in the woods for the last 4 hours, wandering around. We showed y'all some of the stuff that we've seen. We've got I think a pretty good idea where to start and what we're gonna do.
got a good scout on about the northern half of the property.
And it's an area he hadn't even been in yet. And we saw some really good dominant deer trails that are definitely being heavily used. We found a couple of good areas where we can go ahead and cut out some stuff and set up for food plot. We've got some work to do tomorrow, but I think we got a game plan and some framework to be able to work off of and expound upon in later years. So
There you go.
we're going to call it an evening, right?
Yep, call it a day.
And then we'll be back at it tomorrow doing the actual work. All right, guys, we are back today. We are getting to work today. We've got all our equipment with us, chainsaw, weed eater with a brush blade, some tree loppers, some spray poison to kill off some of the undergrowth. And we are going to get started today, getting some work, laying down some framework for this property. First thing we're going to do, we've got a little driveway area right in here. It's got some deadfall in it. It's got stuff like this right here that's kind of hanging out and out in the way. We're going to go ahead and clear this path, clear this trail, give us a nice clean area in order to be able to get in and start getting to the access to it. We have the area yesterday that we discovered that we're going to, we decided we're going to cut out for a food plot. So I got the chainsaw and everything for that so we can cut all those trees out and clear that area out. And then if we have time today, we're also going to start doing some trailblazing, cutting some trails to some different spots.
Yep.
So these are all things that you got to do. You got to be able to access your property. You got to be able to access the points to it that you're going to go in and hunt. It's a good thing to do. It helps you open it up, helps you be able to work your property better, be able to access different points to it better. And it's flat out a necessity. Whether it's going to be for a four-wheeler or by foot, you need to be able to get to it. So
you got to cultivate your property for what you want. If you're raising, row crops, you got to cultivate your property for row crops. If you're raising deer, got to cultivate your property for deer.
Yep. So we're going to start the shape today. We're going to get to work. Hopefully we can get a lot done. I got to get on the road this afternoon, so we're going to try and knock as much of this out as we can. So y'all stay tuned.
That food plot sure is looking good, and Miss Matthews' bow shooting like it should. First thing in the morning, I'm heading up to the woods. Season's here, let's hunt some deer. Yeah, it's about time, man, it's been a long year. Got 'em all on camera, I've made a hit list, I've thrown.
Never underestimate the use of a machete.
Let's hunt some deer, season's here. That 12 point is still hanging round, and this year I'm gonna lay him down. A lot of sleep's been lost since the day he got away. Yeah, but I'm ready this time, got it all planned out. Been working since spring, it's a going down. I'll be sitting and awaiting this time when it passes by. Season's here, let's hunt some deer.
So this, as you can see, already cleared out. And that took maybe 30 minutes to do. So things like this with simple power tools are possible. Get a game of a plan, and an attack is the idea. So we're gonna move further down, finish clearing this road out, and then head in.
Oh, when the weather cools off, yeah, I fight the urge until finally once and for all. Season's here, let's hunt some deer. Yeah, it's about time, man, it's been a long year. Got 'em all on camera. I've made a hit list. I've thrown out corn and scouted these hills. Man, let's hunt some deer. Season's here. Man, let's hunt some deer. Season's here.
So again, just a little bit of work. Wide open. So now we've got a big wide open area here where we can drive in, bring tools and stuff in for future projects and work out here. And that's very important. So we're going to open a little hole right here in order to continue our path in and make life easier carrying in things like stands and equipment and such. Alright, moving on. We're in food plot.
Food plot destination.
Number 1. Give me a rundown what we're doing.
Right, so we got grass growing naturally, which means we're getting more sunlight and less leaf fall cluttering up the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna,
right in there.
we know we've got a nice geographical feature over here, low spot where we're gonna have deer moving. We have video, or we have game cam footage of deer moving through this area, so we know deer work this area. We know there's already food here. We got some oaks that are surrounding this area, and we have acorns all over the ground. So we know we have some very vital, important components of knowing that deer are in the area, but they need more to eat, especially later on in the season when everything else is dead and gone. So we're gonna cut down some trees. We're gonna kind of open up this canopy as best we can, and that way we get more sunlight to the ground. We'll spray herbicide to kill off the grass and things that are growing, and then in a couple of weeks, hopefully we can catch a good rain. We'll come out here, broadcast a bunch of seed in here, might do a like a fall blend with some legumes and brassicas, probably put in some cereal rye or some winter wheat or something like that a little bit later on so that it greens up first thing next spring. And we should have something that the deer are going to be coming to, maybe even some spring turkey coming to. We are going to create, hopefully, a really solid food source for whatever's out here and bring them to where we want them to be, where we know they're going to be, and where we can set up ourselves to harvest some good looking game.
We've got oaks, like this one right here behind us. Beautiful, big southern oak, but it comes out and hangs over top of where the food is going to go, where the seed is going to get broadcasted and where we want the sun to be.
Yeah, and it's in serious competition with a much larger oak, so it's going to be on the losing end of that competition for sunlight.
So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. That's what we're looking for to cut out. So that's the plan. We're going to get to work.
There we go.
In this area here, as you can see, there's already a lot more sunlight. Open up the canopy a good bit more about what we cut out over here. Next, we're going to try and get rid of some of this on this side. Help open that end of it up a little bit more. And if we can get this opened up in the next hour and a half, we'll be doing good. Good. I love and hate chainsaws, all in the very same breath. We have a snafu. The chainsaw has kicked both the chains. Probably my fault. I'd say I'm pretty sure it's my fault anyway. But when it kicks the chain off like that, it ends up warping the teeth that run inside that bar and inside that track. And just being off a little bit is all it takes to bind all that up and not allow the chain to run freely and not allow the saw to do its job. I have 2 chains. Both of them have had that happen to it. It means both of them are done. I've got several machetes, so little stuff that's behind me here leading up into the big trees. I don't want to leave a job any more undone than I have to, so I'm going to go through with a machete, and we're going to get that at least cut out by hand. So such is life. We're going to get back to it. I'm going to start swinging and hacking with a machete and try and get as much of this little stuff cleared out as I can. Go for it. Oh! Woo! There it is. Samurai! Y'all can see here, these are the stumps of these saplings. They run all the way along here, which is what we just cut out using nothing but machetes. So even if you don't have a working chainsaw, some sweat labor, and it is not fun, I'll tell you right now. And some of these trees are as wide as my hand is. We got that cut out with a machete. Good axe, good handsaw, any of those things will work to start clearing some of this out. So he's over there right now. He's spraying in that sunny area. And I'm going to show y'all here in a second some of our brush piles. This is an afternoon's worth of work. And I can personally notice a big difference already in what we've done. Now we've got several more trees we got to get cut out of here with a chainsaw. That's just got to happen in order to get some of this overhang canopy out of here, and it's going to open that whole corner up right there where there's shade. So you can see where the sun is and where the shade is, and it makes a big difference. All right, so this is one of 2 brush piles. I'm 5'9". You can see how high this goes up behind me. The vast majority of it's probably up to about my eyeball, so we're talking about a 5.5 foot tall, and it starts right here and goes a good 10 yards that way, so about 30 foot long in terms of a brush pile. This is what we cut down today. The other one's over in the corner. It's the same height, a little shorter, but we got a lot of stuff pulled out of here today. That's why everything's a lot more open over here. All right, well, we have done everything we can with the tools that we have available right now to us.
And the time available.
And the time available, yeah. So unfortunately, you know, the chains got messed up on us. But we're done for the day. I got to get on the road and get on back home to North Carolina. He's got a game plan for what to do in the upcoming days and the upcoming weeks. Got everything sprayed in this little area here. He's got another area back there he's still got to work on. But we definitely got a lot of information in while we were out here, and we got some work done.
Got a lot of work done.
So I feel good about how we're leaving today.
Yep, that's right.
And we met one of his neighbors today too.
Yep, that was good.
And it was very nice. He's got a tractor, and he offered to come over and do a little bush hog and disc work for you too. So
yep.
That's always wonderful when the neighbor's got the tractor and is willing to help.
Heavy equipment, baby.
Heavy equipment makes life easier.
Yes, it does.
Another little trick to the trade: if you got your small piece of land, you ain't got the heavy equipment, make friends with the neighbors. Chances are they've got it. Sticky.
Thanks for the help, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And We hope this helps somebody else out.
That's right.
Hopefully y'all learned some stuff here too. End of the day, put in the work, put in the time, and it will pay off in the end. Hopefully here soon we'll even see some video of either him or I hunting out here.
That's right.
So
Looking forward to that.
all right, well, hunting season's coming up. Y'all stay tuned. Until then, Jonathan with Pinnacle Outdoor Traditions. Also Rick Nightingale, telling you whether you're in the woods or on the water, make some traditions of your own.
Amen.
And don't forget, like, subscribe. That's the biggest thing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell, and give me some comments too. I will answer. So, till then, we'll see you.
All right.
And my name goes down before the song was friends. But whenever they're all gone, I know we'll be around. The grass ain't never let me down. No, my grass ain't never let me down.
Yeah, it looks a little on the small side.